There are a lot of colorful prisoners down there, because Arizona attracted a lot of colorful outlaw types, and some of them got put in prison, and most of them got away.
One of my favorite characters at the Yuma Territorial Prison is Buckskin Frank Leslie. Buckskin got his name for wearing a fringed Mexican and Indian-looking jacket with beadwork on it. He wore it all the time, along with his 2 pistols.
Leslie, imprisoned for killing his girlfriend in a drunken rage, was known as one of the great gunslingers of the Old West. Wyatt Earp was reputed to have said that Leslie was the only man who could compare to Doc Holliday's blinding speed and accuracy with a 6-gun. R.L. McDonald was sent to prison for embezzlement while employed as a school superintendent. He became the bookkeeper of the prisoner's account and promptly stole $130 from them. William Jordan Flake considered himself a prisoner of conscience. He called the law against plural marriage a mockery, a travesty of justice, and served 6 months at the prison. During his stay, the superintendent asked him to help with the more difficult prisoners. Ricardo Flores Magón was a Mexican revolutionary opposed to the dictatorship of Porfirio Diaz. Magón was jailed in Yuma for violating the Neutrality Act and died in Leavenworth Penitentiary in 1922. His remains were repatriated to Mexico City in 1945.
One really interesting aspect of the Territorial Prison was that it was the first prison in the West to lock up women. Now, there was a lot of crime committed by women, but they were called the weaker sex by the juries, and they were usually let off or they were put in a small town prison for a short time.
By far the most famous inmate at the prison, male or female, was Pearl Hart. She and her partner Joe Boot committed the last stagecoach robbery in Arizona. On May 30th, 1899, they robbed the Globe stage but were inept robbers and quickly caught. Boot was sentenced to 30 years. He would escape 2 years later, never to be heard from again. For Pearl's part in the robbery, she was sentenced to 5 years.
So Pearl was sort of a brazen, probably in many ways rough speaking. She did use opium, and she was considered to be very pretty. So she flirted with wardens, dignitaries that came to the prison, and other prisoners. So she is set apart as being the infamous Pearl Hart.
She was made famous by embellished newspaper stories, and following her release, tried her hand at acting. Evidently, she was as bad an actress as a thief, and quickly faded from history. Elena Estrada was sentenced to 7 years for manslaughter. She stabbed her unfaithful lover, then cut open his chest, pulling out his heart and throwing the bloody mass in his face. And 16-year-old Maria Moreno. She was attending a dance next door to her home when her brother demanded that she stop her dancing and behave respectfully. They argued, and she threatened to kill him, to which he replied, "Kill me then." Maria retrieved a shotgun from her home and shot her brother in the face, killing him instantly.